Hi, my name's Carly Reid from CX Today, bringing you all the latest customer experience news from the industry. Today, we're joined by Brian Atkinson, Five9's VP and General Manager of EMEA, and Sabine Winterkamp, his colleague, Senior Director of Global Marketing. Welcome, Brian and Sabine.
Hi.
Now, we're here today to discuss with Brian and Sabine an upcoming event that Five9 are hosting, which is their EMEA Summit, which is going to be held on May the 6th. Now, with that in mind, Sabine, could you perhaps tell our viewers what they can expect from this fantastic event, please?
Yeah, absolutely, Carly, and thanks for having us here. So we filled the agenda with a lot of topics for the EMEA audience. So we have Analyst House, MZA, speaking about the trends, what changed during the pandemic in the contact center space. Then we have a lot of topics around innovation, automation, and what's going on in the customer experience space, what changed. And last but not least, we're talking with our partners and the partner ecosystem, how we approach the markets and what benefits they have from the different areas.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Sabine. Now, Brian, you're going to be hosting at this event. Could you perhaps give our viewers a little bit of an insight into some of the things that you're going to be discussing with the attendees?
Yeah, absolutely, Carly. I think customer experience starts with passion. You need to have passion for something in life. And 14 years ago, when I moved from the U.S. To the U.K., I got my passion for customer experience. And so I'll share some stories with the audience around that. So much so that I actually got my certified customer experience professional certification back in 2015. And from that, I've always, taken on board, what actually creates a great customer experience. And technology is absolutely one key element of that. Another key element really is around the people. And so I want to talk to you about, the people of Five9 and how, we are here and very passionate to support, the businesses here in the EMEA region. And from that perspective, also share with you, our partner ecosystem and talk through, how that has grown over the past few years. We now have partners in 14 countries, and also just share some really key customer examples and success stories of some of the customers that we have across 38 countries here in the EMEA region as well. So, really looking forward to just sharing with the team, who Five9 are here in EMEA so they get to know us as a company. And also, like you said, hosting the event and introducing some of the other great speakers we have.
Fantastic. Thank you, Brian. Now, there are some really fascinating topics that are up for discussion during the event. And one of them that I was quite interested in was the digital transformation and business resilience subject. So, Brian, how important do you think it is for businesses to be future-proofed in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yeah, I think we all know that 2020 was a very challenging year. Not just from a business perspective, but even from a personal perspective. And so I think there's a lot of lessons learned that we can take away from that. I think anytime you go through a situation, you have to reflect and take a look at what lessons can be learned. And I think one of them is, location shouldn't matter to be able to deliver a great CX. And what I mean by that is agents should be able to be, delivering great CX from anywhere. Consumers should be able to, address their concerns and experience that customer experience from anywhere as well. We also learned that technology should be seamless. Technology should disappear for the agents. They should make it to where it's not a headache for them. You can imagine a scenario where an agent is working from home, trying to deal with a very frustrated customer. Kids at home, maybe they've just had some challenges with COVID impacting them personally or with their family. And so there's a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty. And so from that perspective, it's just really critical that the technology needs to be seamless and disappear. I think third, if you look at kind of what technology should also deliver, it should be something that companies should be able to consume in a very commercially flexible model. Gone are the days of buying a piece of kit that sits on premise. The new model is cloud, and how can those new commercial models actually map to the business demands today? And so commercial flexibility is really, really key. And then I guess really most importantly, it comes back down to the consumer and how they want to communicate. So as I mentioned at the beginning, whether it's 10 p.m. on a Monday evening or whether it's 4 a.m. on a Sunday, being able to be able to communicate with an organization at the time that the consumer wants, on the channel that they want, all very, really important things. So really kind of that personalized experience becomes more and more important in this day and age as well.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Brian. And also in the event, you've got Five9 CTO and Head of AI, Jonathan Rosenberg, discussing, amongst other things, making AI practical in the content center. Now, could you perhaps give us a couple of examples of ways that businesses can do this, please, Brian?
Yeah, well, if you haven't heard of Jonathan Rosenberg, he's an amazing thought leader in this space, a great speaker. So I do encourage everyone, if you haven't heard him speak before, to come. You'll have a great session, and you'll take a lot away from it. What he'll essentially be talking about is the way that we approach AI, and AI the way we approach it is from a practical perspective. AI has been such a black art with regards to, what is it? How do you implement it? How do you buy it? All of these types of things. And what we've been trying to do is to say, well, let's make this practical. Let's make it in like bite-sized chunks that you can deploy in a very seamless fashion and actually get some business results from AI. And so the three areas that he'll talk about is what can we do kind of pre-call, what can we do during call, what can we do post-call to be able to leverage some AI technologies, enhance the customer experience, and actually deliver some practical AI. So I think a great session that we'll all look forward to when the day comes.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And Brian, as we head into spring of 2021, do you perhaps have any trends or predictions that you'd like to share with us from the CX world?
Yeah, I think if I look at trends that's taking place right now that I think will continue in the next kind of six to 8 months, I think one of the key ones is the on-premise shift to cloud. I think that the pandemic has kind of accelerated that tenfold from I guess where we were a few years ago to where we are now. I think only 85% right now of customers are still on premise. I say only, right? That's a huge percentage of customers that are still kind of in that on-premise space. So I think we'll still continue to see that shift to cloud. The second trend, I think, is that digital transformation. So a lot of our customers are still talking about how do we digitize the business. We've got a lot of disparate data systems. We'd love to be able to get information, the real-time information, kind of bubbled up to the agent in the right place at the right time to be able to deliver the best experience. And so I think that, that is going to be a really key element that continues, the topic of digital transformation. And we believe that, really the contact center is the new front door to most businesses. So from that perspective, how can we make sure that CX is leading that kind of digital transformation initiative inside of an organization? And then the last one would really be around, kind of the talk track that Jonathan is going to be addressing, which is around that AI-powered automation. So it's not just implementing AI, but how can you leverage the technologies of automation with some intelligence to be able to actually deliver better customer experiences. And so some really key aspects from that perspective around how technology has matured over the last few years to be able to deliver on some of these promises that we've kind of talked about for many years.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brian. And Sabine, last question for yourself. Could you perhaps just remind our viewers of the date and the time of the event, please?
Yeah, absolutely. The Five9 EMEA Summit will happen on the 6th of May. We are starting at 1:30 and we will end up around 5 p.m.
Brilliant. And to register, they could just head over to the website to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. events.five9.com/Five9 EMEA Summit.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Now, sadly, that's all we have time for today. Many thanks to Brian and Sabine from Five9 for joining us. Thank you again, guys. Now, if you enjoyed our exclusive chat with Brian and Sabine from Five9, then please do share our video on social media. It's always greatly appreciated when you do so. And do subscribe to our channel as well. So from myself, Sabine and Brian, that's it from all of us. I'm Carly Reid from CX Today. Thank you for watching.